just about right there. Oh, that sounds nice. So I'm going to be using a drum break to guide me and when I lay down my drums within my beat, because there's times where I feel like my own grooves could be a little repetitive. But when I'll listen to another song or a drum break that's out there, I just get inspired and I'm like, you know, that sounds pretty simple. I think I can follow along with that. My setup right here is the MPC Live Mark II, and right next to the MPC, I have the Analog Heat Mark II. Analog Heat Mark II just sounds beautiful. So we have that set up right now. That's pretty much it. That's my signal flow. And I'm going to be using Air Flavor Pro in my mastering chain as I probably 50% through my beat, just to kind of give it that overall touch to my beat. And you guys will hear how it sounds with and without it. It's been a really awesome plugin that I've been using on most of my beats lately. And one last thing I do want to mention is the topic that I just chose of me using the drum break with my one-shots. It's just a topic I'm throwing in here and putting that on the title, but it's an excuse for me to make a video and put out a beat and hang out with you. So let's get right into it and make a beat. I'll let you listen to this sample right here by itself. Sounds really good. I'm actually going to go from trim to chop, and there's actually a new way that I've been chopping up samples. I've been using this, you know, it's a hit or miss, but on certain samples, this will sound awesome. I'm not going to go manually chopping up my samples. I'm actually just going to go into regions and just create 16 regions. I don't know how the MPC is dividing that. I don't care about the beats per minute. Like, they might be messed up chops. They're not on the downbeat. It's okay. I'm okay with that because most of the time, especially on tracks that there's no drums or rhythmic elements in the background, it comes up with some pretty interesting chops that I would have never came up with on my own. So right now that I put this on regions and 16 regions, what that's going to do is going to slice this up into 16 different chops. So now it's filling up all my pads right here. So, I mean, I don't know, you know, how that's going to sound, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and convert this, process that. Once I come right here to my drum programs, I can recall that, and let's see how this sounds right here. I'm actually going to go into my program editor, drop this down about 2 semitones. Actually, let's go down to 4 semitones. I kind of found something that I'm locking into. I actually feel like I can pitch this down a few more semitones. I'm actually going to go down to, let's try -6 semitones. Oh, yeah. I'm going to tap out the tempo to see where this BPM is at. About 82 beats per minute. Let's go ahead and lay this down. Oh, yeah. Oh, that sounds nice. I'm actually going to go from 82 beats per minute. Let's go up a little higher. Let's put it at 84. Oh, yeah, that's it. Let's go to track 2. You know what? I'm actually going to put the drum break in probably put it in track number 10. Why? Because I'm going to delete the drum break later on. So this is just going to be a reference. Let me just name this break, and right here, create an empty program. Let's go browsing for some drum breaks. Oh, yeah. This is interesting. Oh, okay. All right. So I got 2 different drum breaks. That sounds cool. Again, I don't care about the sound quality of these. I just want to go for that groove right there, something that I can follow along to. Now, when I chop up this drum break, I'm going to go from trim to chop, and I'm actually going to try a threshold. I'm actually going to delete some of these. There you go. There you go. I only want to get some of these down hits or down beats. Let's try this. All right, so right here we have a loop. It's just a loop that's just repeating itself. The reason why I like using drum breaks to guide me from time to time is because if I jump into an empty track, let's say on this track 3, I'm going to put in my drums. I'm actually bringing in some one-shots from my sample pack volume 1. So if you guys like how these drums sound, be sure to check them out. Link down in the description. Right here, now that I have my one-shots obviously have a lot more punch, a lot more body, the hi-hats, the snares. They just feel a lot better than that drum break. So I'm going to just use that drum break to help me come up with some ideas. Now, to find a better separation from that drum break with the drums that I'm going to bring in, I'll actually go back into that drum break, and on the inserts of this drum program, I'm going to just put in a filter, and this filter is going to be a high-pass filter. I don't want to hear too much low end from this drum break. There you go, just like that. And then I'll go into my one-shots, which is going to carry that body that I'm looking for. And right here, as I'm playing everything back, now I'm kind of getting a feel for the kick that I want to use, the snare, the hi-hat that I'm going to be using. And it just kind of gives me a better vision on where I'm going. How is this going to sound? That drum break has beautiful texture. So the way I'll just kind of get started, I'm going to go piece by piece. I'm not going to lay everything down at once. I'm just going to hit overdub, and let's start with the snare. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention, turn off TC. So no quantizing right now, because we're using that drum break to guide us. So that's the whole purpose of this. We're not trying to use quantize right now. We're just going to go with our natural groove following that drum break. And then I can just start adding the hi-hats or the shakers. I'm going to dial that on top. Now I'm going to start bringing in the kick, but with the kick, it's a little more complex for me. I'm actually going to loop just one bar. In order for you to loop a certain selection in your grid editor, you want to go to your Q links and be on your last Q link, and then the two bottom Q links, these are your end point of your loop, and then this second one is the start point of your loop. I want to just loop the first bar and focus on this first bar. I'm going to just put in the down kicks real quick. Just those two, that's it. Now I'm listening to that drum break, and I'm going to copy that drum break. But once I copy that drum break, I'll start adding some other ghost kicks on my own. There you go. All right, cool. So that sounds good right there. Now I'll move over to the second bar. See, I'm adding some other kicks that might sound good or that might not sound good. All right, now let's listen to the entire 2 bars. Nice. If I go back to my drum break, and let's say I just want to take off the drum break and just keep what I came up with, I can go ahead and just mute that drum break, and now we can listen to the one-shots with the sample chops. Yeah. So now that we have this going on right now, I could even go to these drums right here, grab this kick, and go to the inserts of this kick. I'm gonna go down to my dynamics, and let's put Mother Ducker input on that kick. Now I go to my sample program, the entire sample, go down to Mother Ducker. All right, we got the drums. We go to track number 4, and in track number 4, I can call up a bass line. For this bass line, I'm gonna go to MSX Audio Bassline Volume 1 and listen to some bass lines that sound close to this sample that we're working with. See, as you guys can hear, this entire beat that we're building right now, we're kind of going off of that drum break, and it's helping us as it kind of like sets the atmosphere for us. And right now, I mean, I'm no longer in the drums. I might go back to the drums in a little bit to adjust something with those drums. But my main idea right now, as I'm building a beat, is just going with like, I don't know, you guys can't see me on the camera, but I'm just like twitching my leg right now because I'm just excited right now to build this, and I'm in a high right now that I do not want to lose, because I'm just getting lost in the technicality, or getting lost in, okay, I'm going to put a hi-hat here, a snare there. No, I'm just using another drum break to keep the blood pumping right now. And right now that we're taking that off, yeah, it doesn't have that same groove that drum break has. I'm not going to emulate exactly piece by piece what he is doing, but it makes me come up with some really good grooves that I would have never came up with on my own. I'm actually going to try to match up this bass as close as I can to that sample. Ooh. All right, right there. That's really close. Now I'm going to just turn on 16 level, and I'm going to put it on tune, and now I can perform this bass. Oh, that sounds nice. Now let's go ahead and lay that down. And now at this point, where I have my drums, my bass, and my sample, I could go into my master track. And in my master track, I actually have this preset that I put together. And in this preset, I'm actually going to use the cassette simulator that I put together with Air Flavor Pro. Go ahead and load that in. And right now I'm going to turn it on so you can listen to how it sounds with it on. Yeah. This is what I love about Air Flavor Pro. There's adjustments you can make according to the beat that you're engaging it on. Like in this certain beat, I think the vinyl crackle is a little too much. So I can dial that down. Just about right there. Oh, that sounds nice. I love how that sounds. This is something that started with, right now before I started recording this video, I was a little bit just blanked out when it came down to putting down a drum groove, and that is why I actually wanted to film this video, because this happens to me. It happens to most of us, where there's days that you just sit down in front of your MPC and you get started and you come up with some awesome grooves, and there's other times where you're just a little fried and don't really have a direction on, man, am I going to use the same boom bap beat? But when you lay down a drum break, I just came up with some grooves that I wouldn't have came up with on my own. So I'm using these drum breaks to guide me. Now I have that drum break right here in track number 2. I'm not thinking of using it, but guess what? You actually could use it. If I hit play, I can bring up that drum break, and if it's not crashing too much with what I have, then I can use it. Not because I want the sound quality of that drum break, but like I mentioned in the beginning, it just sets an atmosphere that sounds very beautiful on top of my beat. And it might work, it might not. It's okay if it doesn't. I won't use it, but let's actually hear how it sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with this right here. I love how this sounds. I'm going to take it a step further and mix it, master it, all within the MPC. I've actually had a few people asking me if I can do a mixing and mastering video within the MPC. I might do it very soon. It's just when it comes down to mixing and mastering, this is my way of doing it. It's so fast. It's not something that I sit down and start, it's so fast. So I might do it. It's probably not going to click with everybody. I'll tell you that right now, but it's just something that works for me. I've always said that my rough mix is my final mix, and that's where my energy is in. So I'll be making a video on that later on. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and just putting this beat together with me right here. I really like how this sounds. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you guys did, leave a thumbs up. Also subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'll catch y'all on our next video. Peace.